What up, fight fans? It's your main man, Made Man, back at it again, and y'all know how I get down. We talking boxing. Now, it seems as if they are right on the edge of making the Andre Ward and Marco Antonio Parabon fight. This fight is they're reporting as of today. This fight is about 70% done. And this fight is possibly going to take place on BET. That'll be something brand new for us, ladies and gentlemen. But we know Andre Ward, a WBA super middleweight champion who's been inactive for quite some time now. We haven't seen Andre Ward in the ring since 2013, in which he fought Edwin Rodriguez in a one-sided, basically dominating decision fight. Marco Antonio Parabon, for those who do not know, lower tier fighter in my opinion, lost all of his big fights pretty much in his career. His biggest, he lost to James DeGale. He got, TKO'd in the third round by him. He lost to Jalen Love. He lost to Sakio Bika. The Sakio Bika fight was Antonio Parabon's moment, if you will, because that was his shot at the WBC Super Middleweight Championship, the one that was stripped from Andre Ward. But he lost that fight, you know what I mean? He lost in a majority decision 12-round fight, and he also lost. He had a draw with Badu Jack. So Marco Antonio Parabon has not done nothing legendary, I guess you might want to say, in the sport of boxing. But however, he is a good all-around fighter, but just a lower tier fighter. Now, according to Andre Ward, he wants to take a couple kind of tune-up fights, given he's been laying out of the ring so long. Now, we all know what the public is saying, ladies and gentlemen. We want to see Ward and Froch too, you know what I mean? We all know Carl Froch does not have much left in the tank, and we don't know when he's checking out. That is the fight that we hope Andre Ward can make it to before Carl Froch checks out. But this particular fight, a lot of people are not taking it serious. They're just taking it more of a tune-up fight. We know this fight is more than likely than ever going to take place in possibly Oakland or somewhere in California. That's Andre Ward's backyard. So, and it's very tough to get Andre Ward to fight outside of California. Some say that's been one of the main reasons why he's not been able to secure a lot of big fights. But he's pretty much still left dominating the sport. When he left, he was still on top. Though that was 2 years ago, he still has retained. He was stripped of his WBC title, but he still retained that WBA championship. So we'll see what happens. But they're talking about making this fight for June 20th. It's going to be interesting to see what Andre Ward looks like after being laid out of the ring for so long. Totally understandable him taking a tune-up fight. I am not one of those people that want to just see him jump in there with a straight-up killer after being out of the ring for 2 years, though. However, I do want to see him make it to Carl Froch. Now, we all know Carl Froch is, after his last fight with George Groves, he said he sustained an injury, at least allegedly, and that got him out of his mandatory from fighting James DeGale for that, and he pretty much gave up his strap, his IBF strap, and he didn't have to fight James DeGale. So, I guess he didn't see any, point in that particular fight. Carl Froch is doing something very similar to what Amir Khan is doing. He's looking for a big name, big fight. According to Carl Froch, he never fought in Vegas. He would love to fight in Vegas. We know that Andre Ward beat Carl Froch back in 2012 in Atlantic City in the Super 6 tournament championship. So that was pretty much a one-sided fight. I thought, in my opinion, Andre Ward pretty much outboxed Carl Froch all around the ring. But I still want to see this fight. That was a younger version of Froch. He was way more inexperienced then. He did not have the phenomenal career in which he has gotten to at this point. At that point, he was not, some people say, not the same exact fighter. So it's going to be interesting to see what happens. I mean, personally, I think their styles still remain similar, at this point in their careers. And even though we haven't seen Ward in a couple years, I still think he'll fight a very cautionary fight. That's just his style. And I still don't think Carl Froch, we'll get to that fight if it ever be made, but I just don't think Carl Froch, honestly, will be able to deal with that, because Carl Froch, he fights well. Some say he gets stronger as the fight goes on, but yet Andre Ward does not burn out his stamina. He does not burn out his energy throughout the fight. So he's a very conservative fighter. He makes sure his punches are very calculated. So Carl Froch is getting stronger as the fight progresses. Is very good with a volume puncher, but in particular in Andre Ward's case, he's not much of a volume puncher. He's a very cautious fighter. He's a very technical fighter. This is how he's been able to remain undefeated. He's 27-0 for those who don't know, 14 KOs. But this is how he was to remain undefeated. He's a cautious, smart fighter, and those kind of fighters with the strength of Carl Froch getting stronger as the fight goes on, Yeah, I think it nullifies itself. I mean, against a fighter like George Groves, I mean, yes, of course, George Groves is a volume puncher. He punches every round consistently. And of course, by the middle of the fight, towards the end of the fight, his stamina will start to decrease, and which Carl Froch, in most cases, usually is increasing throughout their fight. So, I don't think that works with Ward, though. But we do want to see that fight. We hope they make it to that fight. But the question I have to ask the fans, will Andre Ward be A-side or B-side? Now, we know Andre Ward is telling Carl Froch, if we do make this fucking rematch, you ain't dictating the goddamn thing. You don't got nothing to say about this shit. You just lay down and take it. You know what I'm saying? Even though, since Andre Ward's absence, Carl Froch has been doing some good things. We know the two fights against George Groves and amongst other things, but those two fights were humongous. You know what I mean? Those were humongous, especially for UK boxing. We know Eddie Hearns, who's Carl Froch's promoters, already have a venue booked and shit already for what is like sometime in June, just in case the fight does happen. So they really want the fight. However, Carl Froch wants the fight in the UK. Now, Andre Ward ain't fighting in no fucking UK. You can barely get him to fight outside of California. You know what I mean? You think you're going to get him over in the UK? Now, Carl Froch says he wants to fight in Vegas. Well, I don't understand why Vegas can't be a neutral ground for both fighters, especially given that, honestly, Froch is taking the fucking trip. I mean, Andre Ward, good as the things he's done in the sport of boxing, honestly, at this particular point in his career, due to his absence from the ring, due to, his inactivity and things like that, I don't think he has the right to demand and come back and just making all these demands. Now, I can understand if he was fighting a fighter like, a lesser fighter, somebody just lesser tier fighter. But he is fighting possibly the cream of the crop of the 168 division, ladies and gentlemen. Carl Froch, the Cobra, has been on top of that division since Ward left. You know what I mean? So I don't know if Andre Ward honestly has the A-side bargaining power. You know what I mean? Does he? Leave it in the comment section, ladies and gentlemen. I'm not sure. Does Andre Ward has the A-side bargaining position against Carl Froch, given Carl Froch has been consistent? He's been very consistent. Andre Ward was also stripped of his WBC title, which it'll be interesting to see if he goes back after that. Given he signed with Rock Nation, Jay-Z would love to have, I'm pretty sure, the WBC middleweight champion in his stable. Now, there's also talk of a possible Andre Ward versus Gennady Golovkin. Would love to see that fight. The Gennady Golovkin would have to come up and wait for that fight to happen. I don't think that's happening no time soon. Gennady Golovkin is looking to really dominate the 160 division, and until he's done that officially, I don't think he's looking to move up, and I know Andre Ward is not looking to move down. So I don't see that fight happening any time soon. Maybe sometime in the future, but just not any time soon. But however, this Andre Ward and Carl Froch fight is very possible. It's very possible. I wouldn't even vouch for this rematch if Carl Froch did not do significant things in the sport of boxing. Because like I told you earlier, I still think Ward beats him in that same exact style they fought years ago. But the fact is that Cobra deserves a rematch. He deserves a chance to get to redeem himself. He deserves a shot at the top dog, alleged top dog today at the 168 division. He deserves it. He deserves it. He deserves his fight in Vegas. He deserves it, ladies and gentlemen. We got to be honest. He deserves it. He earned it. Give him his fight in Vegas, okay? Give it to him. Give it to him against Ward. Make it fucking happen. Now, I hope Andre Ward, he said he wants to take one or two tune-up fights. So I'm hoping he just leans on one so we can get this Andre Ward and Carl Froch matchup, man. I swear I do, man. But we'll see how this thing plays out. Once again, they're about 70% completed of making Andre Ward and Marco Antonio Parabon. A lot of people are saying that Andre Ward should walk right through this fight. I will do a prediction video, or should I say a strategic video on it, because I can tell you right now, I'm leaning towards Andre Ward to win that fight. So, but anything can happen in the sport of boxing, you know what I mean? But to the next video, we will keep our eye on Andre Ward to see what he does. Will he come back to dominate? Is he A-side, ladies and gentlemen? Answer the question, please. Is he A-side against, say, Carl Froch? I don't think there's anyone else in 168 that he will be B-side against other than Carl Froch. You know what I mean? And that's just my opinion. Leave it in the comment section with yours, all right? Until the next video, it's your main man, Made Man. I see y'all then. Don't forget to subscribe, and don't forget, I'm on Twitter at MadeMan511. Peace out.